This is Public Resource.
OMR for Creatives from Public Resource.
This is an Introduction to Soundslice, Part 1 of an Introduction to Optical Music Recognition from Public Resource. I'm your host, Marty Lucas. Optical Music Recognition, OMR, is a process for converting printed music into machine-usable formats such as MIDI or music XML, and then ultimately making high-quality recordings. The end product might be meticulously faithful to the original composition. It might be a teaching version, or it might be a boldly recast derivative work. We'll get to all that in upcoming units. Soundslice features a basic OMR engine. We'll feed printed music into Soundslice, and Soundslice will analyze the music and convert it to the computer-friendly formats used by today's music producers. First and foremost, Soundslice is a music instruction platform designed to help teachers teach music and help students learn music. You can upload a piece of music you're working on, you can play it back, you can change the tempo, you can transpose it, and you can loop tricky passages for repeated practicing. Let's have a look. Here is a synth playing a violin part. And here's a synchronized audio recording of a multi-track composition. It's a Sousa march entitled The Gladiator. And here's Tad Robinson singing one of the first blues-based hit songs, Dallas Blues.
When your money's gone, friends have turned you down, and you wander around just like a hound, a lonesome hound.
Soundslice is the brainchild of Adrian Holovaty, one of the world's superstar programmers. Adrian wrote Django, a famous database software used by many of the world's major websites. Why did he call it Django? After guitarist Django Reinhardt, the king of jazz manouche. You see, Adrian is also an accomplished jazz guitarist, composer, and teacher. Let's watch Soundslice do its thing while Adrian plays his own composition, The Aching Waltz. Note that the rhythm guitar is charted out in standard notation, but also in tab. That's short for tablature, a system that informs the student which string to play and which fret to play it on. The lilting lead part is shown in tab only. As is typical in jazz, the chart also shows the chord names, facilitating improvisation and arrangement. It's a masterclass in gypsy jazz. Everything you need to know is here. So, back to Soundslice. As we've seen, it's a brilliant educational platform. But another very cool aspect is its OMR capability. Let's see how that works. You start with scanned, printed music, sheet music, in conventional Western notation. For single-page pieces, I use a JPEG. For multiple pages, I use a PDF. Now, I'll be uploading an oboe part from a Kempinski silent movie piece. It's a single page, so I'll use a JPEG. Upload the scanned music to Soundslice. Note the 4 boxes with check marks. Uncheck the boxes that don't apply to your music. Now, my oboe part might include a tremolo, so I'll leave that one checked. Now hit go. Soundslice starts working. Depending on how long or complex your composition is, It might take a few seconds or even a few minutes for the process to be completed. In any event, you'll get an email when it's ready for your review. This oboe part is pretty simple, so it won't take long. Now I'll need to answer some questions about this oboe part. Whenever the OMR engine lacks a high degree of confidence in its reading of the notation, it will ask you to confirm or correct its interpretation. Soundslice might be unsure about articulation markings, slurs, time signatures. It may encounter a measure where the beats don't add up. Some of these are due to errors in the source music that a human musician might not even notice. Now, this aspect of Soundslice requires that you are reasonably proficient at reading Western notation. If you aren't, it would be a good way to learn. It's an educational platform. Answering Soundslice's questions and answering them correctly is one of the more challenging aspects of OMR. We'll spend a lot more time with that in future units. But once you have answered the questions, you'll move on to the editing phase. Soundslice will display written music on your screen. By default, it'll play back with a piano sound. If you want something else, you can assign a different synthesized sound. I want an oboe, so I'll tag it as such and assign that instrument. Soundslice's online sound palette is rather basic. It's probably not suitable for your final recording, but it's certainly adequate to guide you through this phase of your project. You can also assign a transposition for certain instruments, for example, a B-flat trumpet, where for the convenience of the instrumentalist, the music as written on the page is at a different pitch than what it actually sounds. If you're doing orchestral or band pieces, you'll use this feature frequently. This oboe part is written in concert pitch, so I don't need to do a transposition. Now, the editing phase does get tricky at times. I'll skim through it today, but we'll get into the weeds in a future episode. Once your piece, your slice, is edited and sounds correct, you can play it back on the Soundslice website, or you can export it as MIDI or Music XML or some other formats and work on it on your own machine. You can also upload an audio recording of the same piece to Soundslice and synchronize the audio playback with the Soundslice version. This lets you follow along, play along, or sing along with the music notation while you hear it. All of these features are explained in Soundslice's documentation. The point right now is that OMR facilitates many modes of musical experience: education, composition, study, or just plain enjoyment. All right, so to summarize, we've taken a piece of printed music, we've loaded it into Soundslice, we've tweaked it, and we've played around with it. And that's just the beginning.
Our work at Public Resource is made possible by a generous grant from Arcadia,